Okay, good morning or good afternoon or whatever time you're watching this. So this is my homework 5. I'm here to demonstrate. Let me start with the actual application. So I already ran it just to make things faster. So you got the home view over here. It shows the list of books from the database. And over here it has the name, author, type, all of the information that you said. I'll get into how this is retrieved just now, but I'm just showing you the functionality. So for daughters over here, if you want to search for this, you just press that, give it a second to do its thing, and it shows your thing over here. And if you want to clear it, you can just clear it like that. And then if you want to select author, Jack, let's see all the books that Jack made. There you go. If you want to select I don't know, horror, into horrors, I'm not sure all the horror types. And if you want to select two of these at the same time, so Jack, I think he makes diaries, and Jack makes he had two books that are diaries. So over here you can have this matching statement over here. So that's one way of doing it. So that's the book view. So if you press this, it will send you to the details of a daughter Snows is available, and this just shows you the number of times it was borrowed, just the way it does, and obviously the information that you need. And then if you go, well, since it's available as was shown before, it's going to show available, but I'll show you just now when it's not available. And then over here, when you have students, you can choose, let's say you want to search by surname, Diaz, there's two Diaz's over here, or maybe if you want to search by class, there's two classes over here. Translate page to Irish. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but I'm assuming they think Diaz is Irish, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But so that's that. Obviously you can clear. I think I showed the clear functionality. And then over here, if you want to borrow it, so Hazel Green, if she wants to borrow this book, she can borrow it. Just give it a second to do its thing. And then as you can see, it updates the status to out. And you can view it over here, and the book is out. And if you saw before that it actually incremented, so before it was 43 and it incremented to 44. And then over here, you can see that this is actually empty. We'll get to this just now. And you can see that the date, same date as I just did over here. And then if you go to view students and she wants to return it, obviously you don't want anyone else to have the ability to return it. You only want Mrs. Green to have it, so you'll just tell her to return it like that, and it should update to available again. And if you go down and see that this record was made, this record that we just did just now. So that's the basic functionality of everything. I think I can head over to the code over here. So I'll start off with let me start off with the models, just to show you different models that I have. So you have the author. This is just the ID, name, surname, basic stuff, the book. Let me just close that. ID, name, page count, points, and then author. I just brought in the author objects encapsulated, I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I brought it in, and the reason why I do this is just so that it makes it easier to filter stuff. I'll show you just now what I mean by that. And then also over here, we also brought in book type. And the borrows, this is just the number of borrows. So I have a method over here in my data service that gets the number of borrows, which will be handy in book details view over here. And then the status, of course, you need the status for the book. And then details view model. This is just a view model to push. So we have the borrows in the view model, and we also need the book. So these are the two different informations that we'll need in this view over here. So I created a view model, so you can just make everything simpler. Same goes for students. It has need student details, book, student classes. By student classes, this is going to be a list that's used to filter. So the drop down, you want to populate that with the classes from the database, and this attributes is what that is. And obviously encapsulate the borrow as well. So that's the books view over here. Same thing, this is for a drop down for the authors, this is a drop down for the types. And then book type over here, just simple, yeah, name, ID, borrow. It's got all the information that you need, encapsulated the stuff as well. Okay, we'll get to data service just now, and students as well, just the basic attributes for students. Sorry if there's noise in the background, I don't know what's going on, but okay, so we can start at the let me head over to the controller actually. So for the index over here, just the view model that I told you about, the books one. We'll get the author names. We'll go to the data service over here. We'll get all the author names for the drop down, as well as the type for the drop down, and then the list of books. So it sends that to the index. And then if you post an index, well, this is for the filtering. We'll get all the information from the post, so the form labels over here. So if you go to the forms, we'll get all of this information over here, like the form inputs, the various inputs we'll get from the controller over here to the form collection. And then we'll check over here if this is null. So if this is null, then and also if all of these inputs, if they didn't filter it and they just press search, then it will just return the normal view that you returned over here. But of course, if they were to filter it, so if a type was selected, then it will return it. It will get the types over here. I'll show you just now, like by list over here. Sorry, I'm stuttering a bit, but we'll just use a link or lambda statements over here to just filter out whatever it is that matches the book type name. Then if you press type and author, what it'll do is it will take that filter over here, so this filter, and it will filter the filter, if you know what I mean. So we'll take the filtered content and then we'll filter it again to get the authors that match in this list, and I'll just clear it real quick, the filter, and then I'll just add this new updated filter. Only if this happens though. Let me just move that. Only if this occurs though. Same thing goes for here for book name. Or filter the filter, and then I'll push all of this to the view. If the author is selected alone, then I'll just grab the author information, and then I'll push the authors into the view. If the book name is selected alone, then I'll push it to the view. Oh yeah, this was sort of unnecessary. I don't know, like if I excluded this, my code would break, and I know it's obviously because of the else statements, but I'm not sure. Like even if I changed this to the else and then made this into if, it would still get messed up. But that's that. I think that works fine. And so book details. So that's the view. Let me show you the index view actually. So here I got the for each. Just loop through the types, get the types onto the drop down over here. Running out of time, sorry. So we'll go to the index. This is a button over here to oh, this is a clear button. I mean, so if you wanna, I was finding it hard to clear it over here, so I just made it so that it reloads the index view with the new fresh list. I think that's fine actually. I'm not sure. So here it gets the books, and then it'll obviously populate the data from the books, specifically in the books attributes of the view model. And over here we'll check for the status in the book. So if it's available, then we'll show this one, like it will be green. If it's not available, then it will be red, and we'll show the various statuses over there. And then over here, this is just a button for you when you want to view the details. They'll send you to this view over here. So that's what this does. On click, it just pushes the ID, which will be used in the controller over here. So let's go to the controller. And over here, it will take that book ID, and then it will get all the borrows by the ID, which I'll get to you with the data service just now. And then over here, for the list of students, oh wait, okay, yeah, this is done. So I can move on to list of students now. Wait, let me just show you this view before I do that. So over here, it just says show the book name, if it's available. Same thing that happened over here, just to show the different statuses. And over here, this button, if you click it, will send you to this view or pass the ID of the book as well. And then this is just the same, looping through the model to display the various data. So if I were to go to the students over here, we'll get the information from the forms over here just to see like the filter information, and then we'll get a list of students. I made a new filtered list which I'll use just now below. We'll check if everything is empty. If everything is empty, it will return a standard view. If everything is not, sorry, let me just pause. Okay, sorry there. I just had to pause because there was so much noise. It was getting unnecessary. But yeah, so as I was saying, if string is like, if all of this is empty, like if this is true, so the name and the class will just populate the normal list without any filters. But if there are filters, and if both of them are selected, then it will do this linked lambda statements and we'll just filter the various content. I feel like I could have used this as well, like this sort of method of and above over. Where is my type view? Over here. But I was having problems. I was trying to do it this way, like to have the some of the link, basically write more efficient code instead of having a lot of these if statements. But I was having problems with that, like everything was breaking. So I just took the long way, which is, the least efficient way, but I think it's fine because I still meet the requirements of this project. So, but obviously, if I'm gonna be working, then I shouldn't be doing this. Like, this is just, too much data is being loaded in. But anyways, okay, so that's that. We'll take this filtered thing and I'll post it to the view. Okay. So if a student's name is typed, then we'll obviously filter the data regarding to the student name. Like, obviously the student name got it from this input that we got from the form. So over here we'll do the same for the student class. We'll filter it according to student class and we'll add it to the range, and then obviously this filtered sort of range over here will be pushed over here to this model, which is pushed to the view, and then, so let me just show you the student's view so you can see how it looks like. Over here, this is just the same concepts as before. For the drop down, just shows you a list of the drop down, so you just have a for each for that. Oh yeah, I also have bootstrap. I'll show you the bootstrap just now, just to see the responsiveness. Refresh the page. This is the clear thing I used. Refresh the page, or pass it to the view, refreshes it, so that you can clear all the stuff and get a new fresh list. And over here, it just populates the data from the students, or students over here, and then over here for the book. So if the book is out, then you want a certain scenario to play out. So you want the button of return book to be available, but this button will only be available to the students who matches the actual, like the students who actually took it out, by just matching these IDs over here. So that's what you deal with that. And obviously, if they don't match the ID, then you just leave it empty like that. And then so maybe I can just write like you can't return this or something. Like, okay, I can update that afterwards just to make it a little bit more, like, I don't know, user friendly, or because just having something empty like that is just a bit weird. But yeah, so that's that. Also here, if it's available, we'll show this borrow button availability, and obviously excuse me, if both of these conditions are not met, I don't know why they wouldn't be met, but if they're not met, you'll just say else, just show nothing. They shouldn't be met. Like, this should only these two scenarios should play out. But yeah, so okay, this stuff over here, so the return will push the ID of the book as well as the borrow ID. We'll be using that just now. ID of the student, borrow ID, takes us to the controller, runs the various functions over here which are on the data view, and I'll return you to the index view. I tried to return it to the book details view, but I was getting some crazy error. So I just returned it to the index view. It was saying something null integer, so I was saying this ID is null, which I'm not sure why it's saying that. Like, I don't know, like over here, like when I pushed it to the view, I was saying this is null, which it's not. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so that's that part. And over here, in the data view, connection, that's my connection string over there. To get the view, open the connection, get a list, open, make a connection, get a list, open the connection, here's the query, select it all, the reader, every time it reads, will add this data inside, and then it'll take that and it'll add it to this list, and it'll keep doing that until all of the books are populated. When they're populated, you return it. And this stuff was used in that one. And over here, let me show you. So to get author over here, I remember there was an encapsulation for the author. So what I did was create a function to bring in the author object, and I'll show you it's at the bottom right now. Same goes for type, and same goes for nums. This is just we'll return an integer just to show the numbers, and then status. So these are the various functions that are at the bottom of here, or methods at the bottom of here, to just make things easier. So to get borrowed book, and then this is the list for the borrowed books. Same concept as the one before. Open connection, select all borrowed books that match this ID, add it to the reader every time it reads a single row, and then you just return it. Close the connection, of course. And then, okay, sorry, let me just quickly pause because there's noise up here. Okay, sorry about that. There's just so much noise here, and every time I try and make a new recording, there's just someone that makes noise, so only option I have is to pause during it. So over here you have connection. I already explained this. To get author by ID, you push the author ID that you want to push. So over here you read the author ID, and then you'd send it to the actual, like as a parameter or as argument to this thing, this method over here. And then we'll select the author information that matches this, and then we'll just add all of this to the object, and then we'll push the objects to whatever, we'll return the object to whatever you're calling it. And then same goes for book ID type, same concepts. Sorry if I'm going too fast to do this, so just time, but yeah, same concepts as before. This one over here, it's student ID, getter by ID, same concept as the one before. Over here again, same concept as the one before. Like, I just want to get past that, time is running out. So over here it's the same concept, but this is a bit more complex, as I wanted to get the max date, which will give me the latest borrow. So with the list of borrows over here, if I show you on SQL, let me just go over here. I wanted to get the latest date over here, which will show me the latest one, because if it didn't show the latest one, then it wouldn't actually show, like the status would get all messed up, and it wouldn't be accurate, the status. So that's why I got the max date, which is the latest date, and I compared that for the taken date. So that's so if the taken date is the latest date, then it is, and I use a subquery for that. And so we'll just grab the data, push it as required, and same goes for here. Get students. This is just a standard list over here. We're doing that for a while. Over here it increments, so get a number over here, gets all the counts. This is just SQL. We'll get all the number of occurrences for each, like for a particular book. Get the number of borrows, and then we'll just send that borrows to wherever it is. Get status, very similar to the method above, to get the taken date, get the latest date, and then that latest date, we'll just run a query over here. If statements over here. This can actually go away. I don't need this. We'll check if it's null. So if it's null, like the column over here, third column. If it's empty, then show out. If it's not empty, then available. And close it, update it. Get status name. So this is for the filter stuff. So the drop downs, same for the drop downs. For the drop downs, it selects the names, like select name from author, sends the names to the list, to the view for the filter of the drop down. Same goes for those two over here. Creating a book record over here, you just say the date time over here. I needed to convert this to format it so it can actually go inside of SQL over here, because I was having problems with that. It wasn't really going in properly and all of that. So I had to format this over here. I saw on Stack Overflow, this guy, he formatted it this way. So I think that's how they read it in SQL. So I had to do that. Insert into borrows all of this various data, and all of this data is inserted as well. And then for return, we'll run the same function, but it will just update it. So we'll take that wherever the plot date is, so we'll update that empty plot date. Like over here, you created a now plot date, and over here, when you return it, you want to update it. And all of this, just the status will determine all of this functionality as well. So I think that's pretty much all that I had to show. Oh yeah, I said I was going to show you the bootstrap if it's responsive, but that's pretty much all that I had to do. I think I did fine. Sorry it's taking so long, but yeah, pretty much done with that. I'm not sure what is going on. It's taking so long. I just want to show you the bootstrap. Give me a second. Sorry. Sorry. Just give me a second. Wow, this is very slow. Okay, let me just pause it while it loads. Okay, so here's the bootstrap. It just shows up here. Bootstrap. Nice, responsive. Go up here. Shows responsive, and as well as here, nice, responsive. Yeah, you can see it's nice and responsive. Okay, so that's my application. Okay, I could change that as well. Thank you for waiting so watching this video. It's pretty long. Like, it's pretty long. So thank you. Bye.